Hi viewers, I am Johnsi Gloria. I am working as an assistant professor, Department of Business Administration in St. Joseph's College of Arts and Science, Autonomous, Cuddalore. Today we are going to discuss about Introduction to Managerial Communication in the subject of Managerial Communication. First of all, we see that introduction. The field of business is very closely associated with the customers with whom we have to interact every day. The success of a business manager is directly proportionate to his success in communication as a communicator as well as a receiver of communication. Even in our daily life, we find many failures and bungling just because the right communication does not reach the right person at the right time. A miscarriage in communication leads to untold sufferings to a number of people. All of us have the better experience of wasting time and physical pain just because the right communication did not reach us at right time. The proverb a stitch in time saves 9 can be altered in a communication in time saves many things. Next, meaning. The English word communication has been derived from the Latin word communis, which means common. Consequently, it implies that the communication is common undertaking through communion of minds and hearts. This common understanding results not only through transfer of information and idea, but also from transmission of the attitude. Next one, definition. Communication is an exchange of fact, ideas, opinions, or emotion by two or more persons. That is called communication. Next, features of communication. If there are 8 number of features of communication. Number 1, communication is unavoidable. Number 2, continuous process. Number 3, two-way traffic. Number 4, universal. Number 5, social process. Number 6, transactivity. Number 7, multidimensionality. Number 8, multipurposefulness. These are the 8 number of features of communication. First thing, communication is unavoidable. Communication is always an existing and unavoidable phenomenon. Not to talk of facial expressions, position gestures, and other behavioral ways, even silence also conveys a lot about the person's attitude. Second feature, continuous process. Communication is not an art or event at an instance of time, rather, it is a continuous process incorporating various events and activities that are interrelated and interdependent. Third feature, two-way traffic. Communication is not complete unless the receiver understands the message. To ensure that the received has understood the message, there should be some sort of feedback. Thus, the communication is two-way and not the one-way traffic. Fourth feature, universal. Communication is universal phenomenon. All living creatures, that is human beings, birds, beasts, etc., communicate through their own symbols and signs. Fifth feature, social process. Communication is a social process as it enables everyone in the society to satisfy his basic needs and desires through exchange of written, spoken, or non-verbal message. It is through communication that two or more persons interact and influence each other and consequently bridge the gap in their understanding. Sixth features transactivity. Since the communication process involves multiple casualty interaction and transaction, it is transactive. It has been observed that in a gathering of 5 or 6 persons, when one person leaves, the conversation change entirely. People change radically when they one communication situation to another, sometimes becoming talkative, sometimes silent. Seventh feature, multidimensionality. Communication is multidimensional. Its sources, channels, audiences, and the effect of these message are multidimensional. Eighth feature, multi-purposefulness. Communication process is multi-purpose. The participants act as sources to the extent they have purpose which they wish to accomplish. Participants act as receivers too, to the extent they have purpose they wish to accomplish. These are the features of communication. Next one, objectives of communication. If there are 9 objectives of communications, first one, information, number 2, advice, number 3, suggestion, number 4, order, number 5, motivation, number 6, persuasion, number 7, warning, number 8, negotiation, number 9, education. First objective, information. One of the objectives of communication is enquiring, supplying, or receiving information through spoken or written languages or through symbols, sign, or signals. Information is different from data. Data, that is plural of word doctrine or symbols. Signs or character without meaning, and information is processed data with meaning and value. Second objective, advice. Advice is the personal opinion about what to do, how to do, when to do, and where to do a particular course of action in a particular situation, with a view to change the behavior and opinion of the receiver. Since it involves the personal opinion of the advisor, it is likely to be subjective. It is not neutral, objective, and factual like information. Third objective, suggestion. Suggestion is the most important objective of communication. Suggestions are the proposal by subordinates to higher authorities indicating change required in the existing procedural and operational matters. Number 4, order. An order is the directive issued by management to subordinates in authoritative manner, specifying to do or to restrain from doing from some course of action. Irrespective of the size and nature of organization, issuing of order is essential to accomplish the task. Number 5, motivation. Motivation channelizes the inner urges of man and to excel towards the organizational goals. Everyone is worker as well as shriker and divine as well as devil. The business manager has to motivate his employees to work with all their divine qualities in the direction of organizational goals. Seventh one, sixth one, persuasion. Persuasion is the act of influencing the other persons to voluntarily change their attitudes, beliefs, feelings, or thoughts. Effective persuasion is a difficult and time consuming task, but it is also a more powerful way than ordering or warning in commanded control style of management. Seventh objective, warning. Warning is informing about the unpleasant and unfavorable consequences. If certain course of action is not changed, such course of action may be negligence, defiance, mishandling material, mishandling material, and machinery regularly misbehaving with other, etc. The purpose of warning is to ask the employee to abide by the rules and regulations and to work with dedication and discipline. Eighth objective, negotiation. Negotiation is one of the objectives of business communication. In negotiation, two or more parties discuss the proposals concerned with specific problem to find mutually acceptable agreement. Usually, it is done in informal way. Ninth objective, education. Education is the most important objectives of communication. Organizations teach and train their executives and employees, both existing as well as newly recruited, to learn new tools and techniques of performing various operations with a greater economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. These are the objectives of communication. Next topic is types of communication. If there are five number of types of communication. First one way communication and two-way communication, verbal and non-verbal communication. Number 3, formal and informal communication. Number 4, interpersonal and intrapersonal communication. Number 5, other types. Other types specified as group communication, public communication, mass communication. So first one way communication. One way communication is characterized by absence of feedback from the receiver to the sender. Here, role of sender and receiver are isolated, not interdependent. The sender conveys the message and the receiver has to make out the meaning on his own, as there is no scope for check back. Next two-way communication. Two-way communication involves active feedback from the receiver to the sender to ensure that the receiver has understood the same message which the sender intended to convey. This form of communication, being more interactive and interpersonal, allows better mutual understanding. Second type, verbal communication and non-verbal communication. So first verbal communication. Verbal communication is communication through spoken or written. This verbal communication can be oral as well as written. Second non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication means transmission of meaning other than oral or written words. This transmission can be through facial expression, body postures, eye contacts, clothing, silence, etc. Studies reveal that more than 65% of human communication is through non-verbal clues than through written or spoken words. Number 3, third type, formal communication and informal communication. First one, formal communication. Formal communication is communication structured on the basis of hierarchy, authority, and accountability. Departmental meetings, conference, circulars, company news, interviews, etc. are the examples of formal communication. Next one, informal communication. Informal communication takes place outside the formally prescribed and planned network or channel. Unlike formal communication, which is deliberately created or documented, it is spontaneous and off records and beyond organizational hierarchy. Fourth type, interpersonal and interpersonal communication. First one, interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication is internal dialogue occurring within the mind of an individual. It may be clear or confused depending upon the individual's state of mind. If the individual's mind is in silent and still, the internal dialogue will become clear and perceptions of the individual will be more wide and broad. To convey the message in an effective way with desired effect, it is essential that intrapersonal communication should be clear. So, second one, intrapersonal communication. Intrapersonal communication is communication among two or more persons. It is an important element of the organization. On an average, half or more item of executives and employees is spent in interpersonal communication. Therefore, marketing interpersonal communication is of great importance. Fifth type, other types. Other types should be specified as three types. Number one, group communication. Number two, public communication. Number three, mass communication. So, first of all, group communication. Group communication is an extension of interpersonal communication. A group is an association of two or more persons who interact with each other in such a way that each influences the other. Group may be formal, such as committees, board of directors, quality circles, teams, etc. So, second one, public communication. Public communication involves speech by one person to a large group at a time. This is one-way communication as the speaker gives speech and the audience listens only. Political leader, religious preachers, trade union leaders, etc. Third type, mass communication. Mass communication, the extension of public communication, is the process of communicating to the public at a large through mass media such as television, internet, films, publication, etc. So these are the types of communication. This topic is definitely useful for all of you. Thank you. Thank you, viewers.